Good evening and welcome to the Psych Coffee Shop. I'm Aeson and of course with me tonight is the cubby with the mostest, Cubby Techy Joe. How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you this evening?
I don't know, halfway evil.
You know, it's probably the 30-minute nap.
Oh yeah,
well, 25-minute nap. But,
that the caffeine, the coffee restriction. I don't know. There's a few things that makes the bear grumpy right now.
Yes, fighting to find a medication. That was the one on your list for today.
In 2024.
Well, not only in 2024, but just in the context of like off-label use of medications can really throw a wrench into the lives of the original intended patient base.
Right.
And especially for some meds that are like, no, you don't want to screw with that.
Right.
So in this instance, one of your diabetes medications, which has worked well for you. It has been wonderful. So all over the news has been the shortage of Ozempic.
Right.
And that's been an ongoing shortage. And predictably, that has cascaded through its other three competitor drugs.
Right.
Because, of course, not one of these companies could see the writing on the wall the rest of us could see that was going to happen and ramp production to, get ahead of the oncoming storm.
Right.
Which I find, just as a business owner, that's duh.
Yeah.
Duh. You, eat their lunch. Eat their lunch.
Right.
They cannot maintain production for the level, you're getting it ahead of schedule that this is a coming.
Right.
Any at this point, because we've seen other drugs do this, you see the writing on the wall. Ramp production, hire more people, start building the second line, third line, whatever. Run that plant 24/7 if you got it.
Get some extra lizards. Call Brazil and get extra lizards. Send out ransom for them.
Pay a premium.
Right.
Crank that production. Crank it. You should see the writing on the wall. They didn't. None of these companies saw the writing on the wall.
Right.
So now there is a shortage of Ozempic. There is a shortage of Ribulus. There is a shortage of Mounjaro. And adding to the list, the fourth drug, Trulicity.
Right.
Because what's fundamentally happened is two of those are well known for their weight loss potential. And have been heavily prescribed to people just looking to lose weight, non-diabetics looking to lose weight. That's what two of them have been used for. It's what they do best.
Right.
In addition to diabetes management.
Right.
The other two drugs on the list are really good for diabetes management. You'll get some weight loss, but typically only if you're diabetic.
Right.
They're not the best weight loss drug there is.
There isn't.
But it's cascaded.
Right.
Because you displace the diabetic Ozempic patients with the number of people taking it for weight loss, and they have to find another drug
that works for the biochemistry because it's hormonal.
And the diabetes management being far more important than, losing a few pounds.
Right. So anyhow.
So that was fun.
Right. So that's fun. And then we've been waiting for 2 weeks for the pharmacy to come back and go, so we can't get it.
Yeah, which they didn't.
Yeah.
Like I finally read their writing because
Mm-hmm.
the system is still showing it as it's on order, it's delayed, and I'm like,
yeah.
There's a time frame where I believe you, and there's was an oopsie.
Uh-huh.
Now we've moved into you're not going to get it, are you?
Right.
And they're like, probably not.
Right.
Like they have ordered it multiple times.
Right.
Each time it kicks back and they try again.
Right. And this is where I miss Woods Pharmacy. If Miss Woods couldn't get something, she put one of her techs on the phone with a phone book.
Right, but you know what? Like right now, though, like that was, I guess, the part that horrified me a little bit today. Because there's a whole FDA website.
Yeah.
For drug shortages.
Mm-hmm.
And that list is like, I thought, okay, it's going to be a bunch of like, off the wall things.
Mm-hmm.
Trulicity or Ozempic and, just things that have found weirdo problems.
Mm-hmm.
The first one on the list is albuterol sulfate solution.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking albuterol is on a shortage?
Yeah.
You can't get albuterol right now. Asthmatics can't get albuterol. What the fuck are y'all using this shit for?
Well, you got to look at what we just came out of.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
They were doing 6 to 12 breathing treatments per patient per day.
Yeah. Like, because we already know about the shortage over in the ADHD community or ADD, ADHD community.
See, that was a false
anything.
That's a false created one.
Okay.
Firearms and Tobacco said, oh, this is the limited amount of medication you're allowed to produce in a year.
Oh. Well, fine.
Yeah, thank you, Patriot Act. Yeah. So the drug company said, fine, we'll produce that exact amount. It's not going to give us what we need for our patients. That's fine. We're not going to increase it.
Like, that's fine. We'll do it.
Yeah.
Good luck with that.
Good luck with that.
Text.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there's a fair number of these that I can like sit here and look through. And it's like, okay, I understand that. That's based on like the name. I can go, yeah, it's probably related.
Right.
Digoxin,
that is, I believe. Let me look at the spelling.
epinephrine.
Yep, that is an upper.
Fluconazole. Furosemide.
Formoseride's a fluid pill.
Heparin.
That is a blood thinner.
Hydrocortisone, hydromorphone. Okay, I get that one.
Right.
Ketamine, I get. Okay,
right.
Like lidocaine.
Yep.
Really?
Pain
There's
medicine.
A shortage of lidocaine.
Yes, because lidocaine isn't a commonly used medication. It wasn't for fucking 30 years. Well, if you can't give your patient any pain medicine.
Yeah, I know. But this is what's happening. Methylprednisone. I mean, it's like, what?
Because you take a steroid, you pair it with a low dose pain medicine.
Nitroglycerin injections.
Yep.
In shortage.
Yep. Nitro.
Oxytocin is just recently resolved. Parathyroid hormone injection. Like, what the fuck are we doing? Penicillin.
Yeah.
What?
Penicillin was actually caused by, if I remember reading it correctly, it was contaminated.
Okay. So I take it there's a sodium problem.
Right.
Because there's a whole section here of how is sodium acetate, sodium bicarb, sodium chloride, sodium phosphate.
Right. Those are IV fluids.
Yeah, all of those are in shortage.
Right.
Sterile water. Sterile water.
Yep.
What?
Yeah.
Sucralfate.
Sugar.
Like, this is where we're at. Try and I know it because I know what I know what it ends up getting you. It's a antibiotic, I think. Triamcinolone.
Trimicoline.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
For that.
Yep. These are all IV products that are connected to the sterile water.
Like, how the fuck? How do we have a shortage of sterile water? How in 2024 do we have a shortage of sterile water?
Okay, sterile water is used to make IV bags. IV bags are used to dispense antibiotics and fluids for the human body.
I know, but it just seems like such a stupid thing.
They went through their stockpile. Literally, they went through what is stockpiled.
Like, this is just nuts.
Yeah.
Like, it's how in 2024 do we have this much of a problem?
Well, this is connected to the overuse of our stockpile. This is connected also to the problem with a problem in plastics, because guess what? All those injectables that come in bags are hung in sterile plastic. There's a shortage for plastic. There's also a shortage for sterile plastic. Oh, God.
I mean, but it's a nuts list. Oh, clindamycin phosphate in shortage.
Right.
And apparently we're all freaked out because clonazepam and diazepam are currently in shortage.
Yeah.
Like, you're trying to calm people down and it ain't working.
No, because that's used to incubate. Medically induced comas.
Yeah, well, apparently you can't have a coma right now.
Well, you can. They just have to use ether, and that's a dangerous level, and the person may not wake up on time as expected.
Yeah. Well, and ketamine, like I'm just like in the secondary run through the list. It's like, no, okay, that makes more sense. Morphine.
Yep. All your pain medicines are going to be on short supply.
Yeah. It just.
Yep.
Oh. Yeah. Oh, clindamycin phosphate. Yeah. Yeah, that was one of the ones I recognized. And I'm like, that is the weirdest thing to have a shortage of.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like, all of the, like, a fair number of these hit me as like, how?
Because it is a topical cream, so it will have sterile water in it. If you do not have sterile water, you cannot make clindamycin phosphate.
Yeah. I just but no, sterile water injection, sterile water irrigant.
Yeah.
Like, there's no sterile water. Sterile water's all gone.
Well, the part of that is, hospitals used to make their own sterile water.
Which, I mean, kind of kills me that they don't. Like, really?
Yeah.
But who am I?
Apparently it's dangerous to run a steel in a hospital anymore.
Oh, for pity's sake. Put it on the roof.
Well, it's like I read somewhere that hospitals are no longer using oxygen production in their hospitals. They're having it tanked in.
What?
Yeah.
What? Why? Is it that literally that hard to maintenance the equipment?
Maintenance the equipment, keep it from blowing up, keeping it from someone hitting it because you can't put it on the roof.
Well, yeah, no, I get that.
Okay, so you put it in the parking lot or beside the building. You have air pollution, which fills up the filter more often than the company can come and maintenance it. And then you have people hitting the damn thing because people have forgotten how to drive an ambulance.
Okay, maybe don't put it in the path of the ambulance.
That was my thinking.
Just a general idea.
Right. Some cost-effective idiot goes, if we are not running this machine but buying our oxygen, we can charge it to the insurance to the patient.
True. At a higher markup.
Right. Well, it's like they don't autoclave anymore.
Wait, what?
They don't autoclave their utensils anymore.
Well, yeah, so they use single use. I get that.
Right.
That, which still. I mean, and to some degree, I get it, but I would still think the autoclave would be there.
In storage somewhere, I'm sure.
Pull it back out, it's fine.
Yeah.
It's an autoclave. How many parts does it have to break?
28.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. It's not that many.
Right.
Seriously, it's not that many. It is like... It's a hot plate with a cover.
More like your oven.
It's still...
Right.
Still, it's like... It's an autoclave.
Yeah. Stuff I know in my brain.
Like, and the annoying part being, I remember having a pediatrician with an autoclave.
Mm-hmm.
Now, granted, it was disused at this point. It just sat pretty in the corner.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no, it was there
mm-hmm.
in case of like a horrific event. I'm sure she would have flipped the bad boy on
mm-hmm.
and been like, okay, this is what we're doing now. Go pull the tools out of storage.
Yeah.
Like, they're still here.
Yeah.
Like, knowing her, she had a grind wheel behind the practice to, like, sharpen a scalpel.
You wouldn't use a grind wheel to sharpen a scalpel, at least too many fragments.
You didn't meet this doctor.
Okay. Is this the one that done the terrible sewing on your knee?
Yes.
Oh, God.
Like, I'm not joking.
My niece can do better stitching.
It's bad.
Yeah.
Like that, like, hi guys, if you can't, which honestly right now you may not be able to, but there's a little bit of redness here that's not just Joe's something. That's from where I've had 2 neck surgeries through the same hole.
Mm-hmm.
This is all there is. It's just this little bit of redness now. That was 2019, the end of 2019.
Mm-hmm.
When the second surgery through that went on. And it didn't heal happy.
Not by my fault.
My knee was done at 14.
Mm-hmm.
It's still hideous. It's not as bad as it originally was. Right. It's now gotten to this point.
Right.
Now.
Right.
What, 20 some years later? 26, 20, almost 27 right. years later? Has finally gotten to the point it's at this level.
Right.
That's how ugly it was.
Yeah. And it's, could use a dermal blaze. Just saying.
Please, the monster from Frankenstein had better surgical technique.
I know.
Like, seriously.
Yeah, but no, a little dermal blaze I think would improve both of them, but I'm not even sure we can find someone that does it anymore.
Oh, at this point, I don't care on the neck.
Right.
like I'm just done with caring. Like after I lived through the knee one and how like God, you guys have no idea.
Yeah.
It was this for the first 3 years, it was this thick purple scar.
Right.
Like one big line and all the little dots. Right. Not that there were many, because she only used like, I don't know, 8 stitches or something.
Yeah. She should have used
maybe
15 smaller underlined ones with dissolving stitches.
No, she didn't. I watched her do it.
I know. I'm saying should have.
You have should have. Yeah, she should have done a lot of things. But...
Yeah. But crap I know that I shouldn't know, but I do know. And, you know, you still wouldn't let me do that nerve surgery. I still think I would have been better than Dr. Jenga.
Anywho. But no, for the knee stitches, not only did I watch her put them in, I ended up having to be the one that took them out.
Right.
Because I had to cut them. And all I got from her office was this little plastic pair of scissors and this little plastic pair of useless tweezers. Right. And so, yeah, I was sitting in Myrtle Beach, Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, when I pulled my stitches out.
Right.
Because she refused to take them out before I went.
Right.
So, like, vacation day 2, clip, pull, clip, pull, clip, pull. Whoa. If you've never cut out your own stitches, let me tell you, that's an experience.
Right. It ain't that bad.
Well, okay, for a first timer, though.
Okay.
As a teenager, let me point this out. As a teenager, like, there was a whole moment to it where it's like you feel the stitch moving through the skin. Like, no one tells you that. No one forewarns you. There's going to be that moment when you feel it.
Right. Right.
Oh no. I remember when they did the biopsy on my foot for the cancer, and I kept going, that's not gonna hold, when they were trying to stitch it up. Ooh. Yeah. I'm a big proponent of, if you're going to do stitches on me, I don't want to watch, because at this point I'm going to critique. Like,
well, I'm a big
knock me out, something. Make sure I don't have a clue till it's done.
Yep.
Oh, the stitches busted 4 times.
Ooh, they should have used cat's blood. Anyhow, I'm a big proponent of, if they say they're going to do stitches, I want to see a sample of your sewing skills.
Give me a sampler.
Let me see a sample of your stitching skills. Otherwise, I'll do it myself, because I know that I can get more stitches in.
I don't know. I was so set to be traumatized, though, because I didn't have anything done after that for years.
Right.
And then I had a cyst thing that I had to go get, like, lanced and drained, and it was a lot. But my GP at the time referred me to a plastic surgeon. Could not believe, because he was like, I ain't touching that. No, someone with hospital admit privileges needs to touch that.
Right.
Because he wasn't sure how bad this was going to get, because it had gotten pretty bad. So anyway, so I get referred to this dermatologist on an emergency basis. They worked me in. And so, you know, of course she does all the things, and then, you know, has to sew it up. And I was just prepared for the ugliest scar. Lo and behold, it was like, what scar?
Exactly.
There's no scar.
Right.
Like, unless I point out where it occurred, you'll never find it.
Right.
And I'm like, holy shit, I love plastic surgeons.
Yeah. And they know to understitch.
Like, oh.
Yeah.
Weight in gold plastic surgeons they are.
Yeah. So I have a question for you.
For me?
How long is your memorandum on jealousy?
Do what?
How long do you think that it's acceptable for a partner to get upset with you to interact with a ex?
Oh. So we're going to that one first.
Yeah, but I want your opinion first.
I mean,
example, when do you
like,
think I'm out of bounds for being upset the black hole 1 or 2 contacts you?
I mean, that they contact me?
Uh-huh.
Like, I've done nothing. Like, I'm sitting here, I'm just living my best life.
Uh-huh.
And, like, boom, they contact me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't think you get to be mad about that. On its own, I don't think anyone gets to be mad about that.
Okay.
I mean, it's what occurs after that point.
Uh-huh.
Or if your significant other is contacting their ex.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that I can see being upset about.
See, 50 years is a little long for me, even being the best grudge handler out there. 50 years?
Well, no, 60.
60 years.
Yeah. So, quote, she also admitted to urinating on him, end quote. Florida wife allegedly bites, batters, and tries to kill husband after he received postcard from woman he dated 60 years ago. I'm sorry, what now?
Yeah. 60 years ago. And she gets
received a postcard. He received a postcard.
Uh-huh.
So, yeah, Bertha Yalter, 71, is behind bars for trying to kill her husband of several decades after he received a postcard from a long ago ex-girlfriend, a woman he dated some 60 years ago, according to law enforcement. So Yalter stands 71 stands accused of 1 count each of attempted murder in the second degree, aggravated battery against an elderly person, and tampering with a witness or victim, according to Miami-Dade County court records reviewed by Law and Crime. When the violence unfolded, the couple had been married for nearly 52 years, according to the North Miami Beach Police Department. The underlying incident occurred on Sunday, January 28th, according to an arrest report obtained by Miami-based NBC affiliate WTVJ and CBS affiliate WPLG. The couple live in the Eastern Shore's neighborhood of North Miami Beach. Detectives arrived at the residence around 3:40 p.m. that day in response to a man calling to say his wife had tried to kill him in their gated community, according to their arrest report. Responding officers reportedly found the victim in an extremely fragile state and with several serious bruises and open lacerations, as well as open bite marks that were bleeding. The attack, the man allegedly told law enforcement, occurred after he received a postcard from a woman he dated before marrying his wife in the 1960s. Some aspect of the long gone lover's decades later outreach greatly angered the defendant, who first tried to smother her husband with a pillow, police allege. At least some of the alleged attack was captured on a cell phone, police say. Detectives on the scene viewed the footage and allegedly confirmed the man's story. Bertha Yalter also allegedly admitted to depriving her husband of his cell phone at some point, a prosecutor alleged during a later bond hearing. Oh, yeah.
The defendant confessed to committing the attack during the interview, according to the police report obtained by Tampa Bay FX. During the hearing of the bond and first appearance Monday, the victim was identified as with the initials MY. The defendant was ordered no contact with him in any way, shape, or form. Bertha is represented by a defense attorney in Miami. The defendant's lead counsel rubbished the charges in the cell phone in a phone call in order.
Yeah.
Here's the bottom line: the couple's been married for 51 years. The police overcharged this case in the extremes, and our client's husband has said he's perfectly fine, that he regrets the argument, and that he regrets what's happened. The husband was only taken to the hospital by the police because law enforcement insisted he go. The defendant's attorney says the husband was there for around 3 hours and ultimately released because there was little hospital staff could do due to the lack of severe injuries. Attempted murder is an abstinent charge. Bertha's attorneys quoted his client's husband has been told after the charges were filed against her, it was nothing like that. Really, dude? Like, how much domestic violence do you have to take in?
Well, and especially against someone, like, granted by someone that is elderly,
right?
But against someone that is elderly, like, old people don't get to hit each other,
right?
Like, y'all really can't go many rounds. Like, it turns from an argument into death real quick after a certain point,
right?
But yes, so they moved to have the charges downgraded to domestic battery before the public defender was replaced by private counsel.
Right.
The defense attorney argued that the state often tries to paint such cases as attempted murders. So the quote is, "Judge, there is nothing indicating she was trying to kill him," end quote. The public defender said at one point during that hearing. And so new defense attorneys are apparently at the same point, saying the same thing.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, 5 years on domestic violence, life in prison for, attempted murder, it's going to equal the same in this case.
Pretty much. Though, at the same time, it's like, that's a lot of reaction to a very minor event.
Mm-hmm. That's a lot of reaction that I'm kind of worried about. Like,
I mean, I don't think anyone's going to call a postcard hot and heavy.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like, if that if there is an ongoing affair, via postcard,
right?
Let the damn man have his postcards. Like, what the hell?
Right.
What the hell? What the hell?
What's the postcard? Hope you're doing well. Wish you were here.
Wish my hips still worked. I'm just saying.
Right. So I want to see
like,
the
I'm not trying to make fun of the elderly, but
well, no, I'm quite worried for this man. But here we see classic abuse and a defense attorney turning it down.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which may very well work because this is female against male violence.
Right.
And I'm not saying it's impossible that like the case is what the defense is claiming.
Right.
I'm just saying that there's also a very high likelihood many male victims of violent crime typically highly downplay the incident because it does become an attack on them as a man.
Right.
Even when it's a situation in which you're being attacked by a woman who you're not supposed to hit.
Right.
Which is kind of like, well, then if you're not going to aggressively stop her,
right,
because you don't want to hit her or harm her,
right,
then all you can do is take whatever gets dished out to you.
right.
Pretty much. At which point,
right,
it's really not an attack on you as a human being.
right.
In terms of your masculinity or who you are as a person. If anything, it's a testament to it, because I'm sorry, you start hitting me, I'm going to hit back.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to at least try.
Right.
Like, I don't care who you are.
Well, one, that should never happen. You know.
That's the general theory, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But when it does,
there are going to be problems.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, these hands rated E for everyone.
But no, Shannon. Your hubby gets you're 71 years old. You've got 23 grandkids, the whole 90 yards. And your hubby gets a postcard.
Postcard from the ex.
Yeah.
And we don't even know what the postcard said. It could be as benign as, thinking of you, wish we, could have that great time on the beach like we had back in 1961.
Right.
I mean, granted, the time scale is going to be different, but the equivalent.
Right.
His ex is crazy. She's probably chasing him out. I'd be laughing.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like, now there is a legitimate situation here between us to think about. It's not like your ex hasn't sent mail.
No, sends mail. Sent mail.
Some of it, I'm just like, oh my God, I can't believe they did that. Some of it, I would just be like, well, I guess the flame is still kindled.
Uh-huh.
Good luck for him. Like, but I don't know. And I understand. I'm a little different. I'm like, if you want to go back to your ex and make the same mistake twice, you go for that. Like, pick an ex, any ex. That's an XX, not like,
right.
Other things occur.
Mm-hmm.
But like an XX, someone you've already delineated as, I do not want to be in a relationship with you.
Right.
In that situation, like, you want to go repeat the same mistake twice, you have fun with that.
Right.
Oh, but now it turns out, if I were to get mail from an ex, he'd get all bent out of shape.
Yeah, but I don't think he's going to be biting on you, pissing on you, beating your ass, and putting a pillow over your head.
Oh. Now, where are you on it? If I suddenly randomly get a postcard, I fear for my life?
No, I don't think you should feel for your life.
No, I don't think you should fear for your life. Okay.
No. Ain't my fault if they fall off a damn mountain and break their neck and end up in the bottom of a mine shaft, but
you will not.
Fine.
Like, if all I'm getting is a postcard, it'll be like,
right.
Like my trash cans over here, guys, if you don't know.
Yeah.
Like literal trash can. It would be like,
yeah.
Like, that's it. And no, it did occur. And it wasn't a postcard though.
Mm-hmm.
It was, I think, a messenger message. Like, I forget how my ex went around to do that, because it's like, you're blocked.
Yeah.
But No, I did get a message about it was a request for photographs, is what it was.
Mm-hmm.
And in general, I hope you're doing well, blah, blah, blah. And I was just like, good luck with that.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all didn't think those pictures were important enough to keep. That's not my problem.
Well, and then, there's this debate that's gone on in a few communities. Do you invite your exes to your wedding?
I mean, does anyone want the drama?
No.
Like, really? What kind of, like, why?
Right.
Why? Like, even,
right.
even if you're on great terms with that ex, like, y'all gotta be besties. Like, still in your life, y'all go, like, y'all hang out, like, the two exes and the two new partners all the time. Maybe you invite that ex. But if you're just talking like, we dated 20 years ago and I haven't spoken to you since, but I somehow have your address, no, that is no, you do not invite that ex.
Right.
Like, yeah. Oh,
Ooh, that's a fun thing to do, Shannon. You might need to pass that info along.
Oh, so apparently he gets made crazy because of like a Yule exchange.
Around the world.
Like, you got a gift from a rando. Like, yeah, that's the premise.
Yeah.
Like, it's not a...
Yeah. Alrighty. So we do have news from the Kansas case.
Timeline of what's happened since 3 football fans found dead outside Kansas City home. All right, so the death investigation into 3 football fans found dead outside a friend's Missouri home last month when temperatures dropped below freezing remained ongoing Friday as law enforcement awaited autopsy results, according to information from police and a lawyer close to the case. Ricky Johnson, 38, David Harrington, 37, and Clayton McGinney, 36, were found dead January 9th outside a man's house in a Kansas City suburb, the Kansas City Police Department reported in January. So everything we know, blah, blah, blah.
So they checked themselves into rehab.
Oh, no, hold on. Don't jump ahead of me.
Okay.
So yeah, so the 38-year-old man who lives in the home has not been charged or arrested. And although police said foul play is not suspected in their deaths, officials from multiple agencies have been working to determine how they died. Yeah, so it can take anywhere from 6 weeks to months to be completed, the autopsy and toxicology. But here's okay. So they gathered on January 7th to watch the game. January 8th, friends leave, homeowner wakes up and works. January 9th, men found dead outside the home. So 16th, police confirmed deaths, begin investigation. January 23rd, homeowner says he had no knowledge friends were outside. January 26th, police say no foul play. Yeah, so this is not being investigated as a homicide. It is a death investigation. So February 1st, local TV station says toxicology results were released to police. According to one of the victim's family members. but police are telling WDAF TV no new details are available. Case is currently active and ongoing.
Right.
All right. So, what your revelation there?
Well, I find it interesting that the survivor of the deadly party checked himself into not only moved out of the house, but checked himself into rehab. Like
really?
inpatient rehab.
Okay. I would find that interesting too. Not the moving out of the house. I can see the ick factor there and the desire to get out.
Right.
As well as the annoyance factor, because I'm sure his front yard has just been a horrible place to be.
Right. So, yeah, he's been checked into rehab. The home is now vacant. And it looks to be that, they're looking at everybody's looking at this and going, this is a drug overdose.
I mean, it's kind of hard to look at. Like, one person dies randomly outside after in that whole situation.
Right.
I could see having suspicion against the other human being involved.
Right.
I could get that. 2 people, okay, it's a little less likely. 3 people, it's like, oh, for fuck's sake, this has to be a drug thing.
Right. This isn't hyperthermia, and there wasn't some quick freeze that goes on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I could possibly believe you could poison 1 or 2 people, but 3?
Mm-hmm.
Like, Jesus. That's, I mean, a little hard to pull off.
Right.
I mean, in a house party.
Right. It's just weird. I want to know who that 5th person is. Like, why aren't they being looked at?
I still say a drug dealer.
Probably.
I'm still going to say it's a drug dealer. Like, the way that person keeps getting talked about, it screams drug dealer to me. Like, I'm just saying.
Right.
But, yeah. So, yeah, hopefully we'll get more about that one.
Right. All right. Now, I know she's been in the news a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Taylor Swift and, the revenge porn. And, then you have, like, Universal pulling all of its music off TikTok, which includes all the Swifties that have done that.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I run a tight schedule. There are times I'm squelching by for minutes.
Yes.
But I've never had to have an embassy come out with a public statement to ensure that I will make my date.
Yeah, no. Yeah, so singer should be able to see boyfriend Travis Kelce in person, despite a 17-hour time change and 12-hour flight, embassy says.
Right.
Yeah, that's a heck of a moment that Japan's embassy in Washington has to assure an angsty public that Taylor Swift should make it to the Super Bowl game in time to see her boyfriend Travis Kelce play in the big game, as long as her post-concert flight from Tokyo leaves on time.
Right.
Oh, dear Lord. So, yeah, the embassy's Friday statement answered a question weighing on the minds of the pop star's multitude of fans who wondered if it was even logistically possible for her to be in position to cheer on Kelce in person as he seeks a 3rd NFL championship with the Kansas City Chiefs. The game's outcome on February 11th could provide a climactic scene for the real-life cinematic romance starring 2 celebrities at the peaks of their careers. Swift, who, like Kelce, is 34, is programmed to perform a sold-out concert in Tokyo the day before the Super Bowl as part of her Eras tour. There is a 17-hour time change between Tokyo and Las Vegas, the city hosting the Super Bowl, and the flight is expected to take about 12 hours, causing some to fret that she may not be able to make it to the game on time and potentially deprive fans of an on-field embrace that would be fitting of one of her music videos. But the Japanese embassy stepped up to allay those worries. The Embassy of Japan in the United States is aware of recent media reports concerning the steps Taylor Swift will need to take to travel from Tokyo after her concert on February 10th to Las Vegas in time to watch the Kansas City Chiefs play in Super Bowl LVIII. What is that?
2018.
Do I know?
I think it's 2018.
Oh.
Yeah. No, sorry. 28.
So anywho, so despite the 12-hour flight and 17-hour time difference, the embassy can confidently speak now to say that if she departs Tokyo in the evening after her concert, she should comfortably arrive in Las Vegas before the Super Bowl begins, said the embassy, making a pun on the name of one of Swift's most famous albums. Oh, I love it. Strategically using the names of 2 more Swift albums in its statement, the embassy added, "We know that many people in Japan are excited to experience Taylor Swift's Eras tour, so we wanted to confirm that anyone concerned can be fearless in knowing that this talented performer can wow Japanese audiences and still make it to Las Vegas to support the Chiefs when they take the field for the Super Bowl wearing red. But a tight schedule may not be the only possible complication for Swift's plan to attend Kelsey's Super Bowl showdown with the San Francisco 49ers. Air traffic around Las Vegas at the time of the game is expected to be heavy, and most spots for landing private aircrafts are reportedly already taken. Swift's team could not be immediately reached for comment about whether it has a plan for the shortage of private aircraft parking spots in and around Las Vegas. You cannot be serious they don't already have one booked.
Oh, I'm sure they do. Like anyone,
like the assumption
would have been shorted. But she's been a little busy. 2/4, she's got to be at the Grammys.
Mm-hmm.
2/7 to 2/10, she has 4 concerts in Tokyo.
Yep.
2/11, she has to be at the Super Bowl.
Yep. It's a tight schedule.
Right.
We do the best we can.
Yeah.
But still, though, I mean, I don't know that, like, I know it's the Super Bowl. I know they're dating. I know this is important pinnacle moments in both careers.
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, I'd point out he's not with her. He's not with her. He's not with her. But, anyway, just saying. Yeah. But to expect her to fly across 17 time zones on a 12-hour flight,
right,
and then pop onto into a stadium to watch a game and be there for the possible win and a media frenzied photograph. I'm sorry, that's a lot.
Right.
Like, I'd need drugs, is all I'm going to say. I would need drugs.
Well, I'm looking at this because then she's got to jerk back onto.
She's got a what now?
Okay, she does the Super Bowl on the 11th.
Uh-huh. So concert on the 10th, flies and gets there for the Super Bowl on the 11th.
Right.
And then
And then, because, she's in Sydney on the 23rd. Where's she in between then?
Hopefully in bed, recovering from the 12-hour flight. Because if you tell me she leaves on the 12th, my brain will explode.
The 16th, she's in Australia.
Well, at least she gets a couple of days.
No, because that's a 26-hour flight down.
I said a couple. I didn't say a week.
Okay. So the football game is over on the 11th. She wakes up the morning of the 12th. She spends the next day in air to Australia.
Okay.
So that's the 13th.
Yeah.
The 14th, she has to get her all the other crap that has already been flown down there for her.
Oh, good Lord.
Okay. Organize that. Go to stage and sound check the 16th and do a concert the 16th, and the 17th, 18th, 20, and then she gets a few days off the 23rd of February. Oh, so she'll get to see him for Valentine's Day, but that's it.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Is it's like beep.
Right.
Like she gets 2 days.
Right.
Pop her on a plane, ship her across the ocean again for a 20-some-hour flight. Then do 2 concerts and a sound check and equipment and publicity and all the things.
Right. So she's in Sydney to the 26th. Then she's back on a plane to Singapore. Another 19 time zone changes for March 2nd. March 3rd, Singapore. March 4th, Singapore. 7th. Who the hell booked this is planning to kill her? Because she goes on March 9th from Singapore. She finally gets a break and gets back to France in May. She takes April off, apparently.
Yay.
Yeah.
I think the promise of taking April off and drugs would get me through it.
Right.
Like, I'm not talking coffee. I'm talking drugs.
Right.
Hardcore drugs.
Amp
me up. Because that's the only way. That is the only way.
Right.
Like, I don't know how your body doesn't collapse under it.
Right.
Just sick with anything.
Right.
Like, there is no way I could pull this off.
Right.
So kudos to her if she's able to pull all this off and still, because the other important part of that is it's not like she shows up to a cubicle and like fucking does taxes.
Right.
She's got to show up to a concert.
And do a concert.
A high energy event.
Yes. And dance. And sing.
Like, hit all your marks, do all the things, deal with all the whatever that is, try to look pleasant and be friendly, do good publicity.
Right.
No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. By March, I'd be in a hotel room with a razor blade cutting my head off. Like, I'm just, I'd have a whole Britney meltdown. Like, I don't know how to do it. Like, it would be a whole meltdown.
I wouldn't say I wouldn't do it.
I'm saying you wouldn't.
Again, you're saying I wouldn't.
No, I'd be like, no, I'm sorry. I would just have the kindness, I would hope, to be like, honey, you have a lot going on right now. Can you stay up and FaceTime me?
Yeah.
You know, like, can you get up, like, for the last hour? Like, post halftime show? And just FaceTime me.
Right.
Like, that's it. That's it. Because it's like, you're getting on a plane.
Yeah.
Flying all the way here to turn around and have to fly all the way back,
Mm-hmm.
knowing you immediately have to turn around and fly again.
Right.
No, stay where you are. Get the rest you need.
Mm-hmm.
Relax.
Right. But this is a woman that needs her private airplane and private helicopter, quite assuredly, to pull this off.
Oh, yeah. Like, I'm sorry, it's going to be Mission Impossible, that version where they drop the Queen into a halftime show.
Right.
Like that what was it, Skyfall?
Yeah.
Like, that's the level this is going to be at.
Yeah.
Like, there's no way that this isn't going to be like, we're dropping Taylor Swift out of an airplane. Like, I made it!
Yeah.
You know, like, what the hell in the Princess Peach is this?
Right.
Like, no. Stay where you are. Enjoy room service. FaceTime me.
Right.
Like, rest.
Right.
Like, God. I think it. I hope that wasn't something that.
Right.
I hope it was her choice.
Right.
That, like, she put this into her schedule.
Right.
And not like he layered that expectation because.
Yeah.
That's an ask.
Right.
That's a big ask. I'm not saying I'm going to try to discount a Super Bowl, hopefully win. That he's anticipating and all that. I'm not trying to poop that. I'm not. That's important. That's a big part of your career. I get it. But damn.
You know, I'm not going to make the Swifties happy.
Okay.
I'm going for San Francisco.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Well, it was nice having a show. Now that we no longer have a YouTube channel.
Again, looking at the dynamics, we knew the Ravens weren't going to win in the playoffs. Said that to my trainer. We've had this discussion.
Guys, I've never met this person in my life. I don't know who he is. I don't take it out of me.
Right.
I'm just saying. Oh, Shannon says, I was laughing when I saw Alpha Bozos trying to say Taylor was after Kelsey for his $70,000 bonus check. What in the alpha ass clown is that about? What the hell, guys?
Right.
Yeah. She needs his money. Yeah. All right. Oh. Shannon's like, she makes more than that just existing on a day-to-day basis.
Right.
Yes.
She is currently with $1.1 billion.
But that's 70,000. That's why she's with him.
Yep.
Okay. Like, she and I'm not trying to shit all over his career. I'm really not, but like, and they are at the pinnacle of their careers, and I get that. But total value of those careers.
Right. He's currently worth $30 million.
Yeah, it's that moment of like, oh, sweetheart, he's never gonna beat her.
Right.
Like, never.
Right.
Like, if he hasn't already accepted that, like, it's gonna be a rude awakening.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you are Mr. Swift. Just saying, dude. Just saying. Like, if you're gonna have the whole they with the most money wears the pants in this household mindset, you are Mr. Swift.
Mm-hmm. Any recommendations for Mr. Swift from Mr. Aeson?
Do what now?
Any recommendations? You've been doing the job for 7 years.
I'm just saying, get used to it. Like, there's... I mean, just, like, get over it would be the next one. Is just, like, that's where the money is.
Right.
Like, enjoy the money, enjoy your couplehood. But, yeah, no. Like, but that is some bullshit. Really? You, a football player, are going to try to take on Taylor Swift, music recording artist. Like,
right.
There's the money she's already made.
Mm-hmm.
And now there's, like, decades of royalties to come, as long as she holds on to her music.
Right.
Or her music rights. Let's be real. You 34, you probably maybe have another 6 years of your NFL career. Mm-hmm. Then you have, like, the post NFL career.
Right.
Like, you can go with a teleprompter and a fucking, like, pad thing to do game replay and, like, do some shit. And some speaking endorsements, maybe a couple of movie roles, maybe some interviews, some event stuff. Like, I'm just telling you, by 40, most NFL players are shot.
Yep.
Not a lot are making it past that. And those that do,
Yeah, and I agree. Her fans will turn him into cat food.
Mm-hmm. Like the speed at which. So no. Like, she is not after a $70,000 check.
All right. So let's see if you're the asshole this week.
Would I be the asshole if I refused to pay Parents Plus loans after coming out as gay? Am I morally obligated to pay my Parents Plus loans? I had to take out direct student loans for myself, about $20,000, 6 months after I graduated. My mom informed me that there was an additional $20,000 in Parent Plus loans. I had no idea about, but had to pay. I was devastated. My mom agreed to pay interest only until I had the $20,000 in my name paid off. I am now debt-free on paper, but still have this issue of the Parent Plus loan. Here's the thing. I have 2 siblings who are married and each received help paying for their wedding, approximately $10,000. I'm nearly 30 at this point and gay. I will never receive money for marriage because they do not agree that gay marriage is moral. I clearly disagree. I have never been happier since I recently came out. I strongly feel being gay is not a choice and is morally okay. All of this would be irrelevant except that I've asked this money that they have always committed to my wedding up until recently to be reallocated to these Parent Plus loans and was told no. The reasoning is that a wedding is a fun family activity they can participate in. So they combined with the fact that I had no idea about these loans when they were signed up for. The loans are not in my name, and I know they have the ability to pay them off immediately. Makes me feel like I am no longer obligated, or at minimum, I would be okay to pay everything down to $10,000, and they can cover the remainder. However, my struggle is that I do recognize this was to pay for my education, and I do have a well-paying career right now because of my degree. While it would be financially tough for a while, I would be able to pay it off. Info, I graduated almost 8 years ago and have known about the loan for approximately 7 years. Yes, my siblings also had student loans, but did not have any Parent Plus loans specifically. So yeah, there's an update, but that has a little more, maybe.
No, we'll hold the update.
Yeah, we'll hold the update.
So the poll is up. Go ahead and vote.
Yeah.
All right. So off to poly advice.
We're not going to talk about it?
I'm going to leave it for now.
Okay, you're going to leave it for now. All right. All right, so poly advice. Am I wrong? Small backstory, me, 29 female, Ash. Oh, no, not the trees.
Yes.
Me, 29 female, Ash, 29 male, and Birch, 36 male, were all in a relationship with Cedar, 22 female. We were very new and naive going into it, and as such made a lot of mistakes. And about a week and a half ago, Cedar chose to end things with all three of us. 100% her choice for it to be all three. Now on to the issue. Ash has taken the breakup especially hard and is still hurting, though taking all the right steps to work through his emotions. One of the big things right now is he feels hurt when I connect with Birch, as it makes him feel even more alone and feeds into some insecurities stemming from the breakup. It hasn't been a major issue since, due to taking time for my own emotional needs. I haven't had a date night with him since. Birch asked if we could do a video call tonight. We live very far away from each other, so meetups aren't possible on short notice, and I would like to do one. However, currently me and Ash are nesting partners and rent a room, so we don't exactly have a lot of private space from each other, meaning that there is basically no way to be able to have this call without Ash being painfully aware of it. Is it wrong of me to do the call anyways, knowing it may cause one of my partners pain, or should I try and figure something else out?
I think you need to go to a coffee shop, go to a phone booth, something different.
Yeah. Yeah, I think at this point, staying there,
right,
or both of you being there, let me put it that way.
Right.
I think since it's a video call, I think you need to ask if you can get some time to schedule it, given the situation, so that you can do this without stepping all over Ash right now.
Right.
Because at least for right now, I don't think this is a forever thing in terms of, but yeah, I think it's just gonna.
Right.
Now's not the moment.
Exactly.
So give him a little time to recover here.
Yeah.
Because this was about a week and a half ago. So yeah, give him a couple of weeks.
Right, but at the same time, we're forgetting Birch.
No, I'm not saying to forget Birch.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm just saying
Ash is getting full-time support.
Yeah.
What about poor Birch over here?
Well, but unless Birch is really having issues with this, which it doesn't sound from this like Birch is,
right?
Then I would hope there could be at least an understanding,
right?
That look, this hit him hard,
right?
And no, it's not a good moment,
right?
Because it can sometimes be a lot to be alone together with others.
Right.
And that sounds sort of like where Ash is right now with it.
Right.
Whereas Birch, I kind of get a feeling that this was one of those, it wasn't as close.
Right.
I don't know. I think you're going to have some conversations before you have the video call.
Right.
But I don't think there's going to be the video call with Ash there.
Right.
I don't think it's going to go well.
Right.
Either that or you've got to find a way to include Ash.
Right.
Because it sounds like there's a lot of odd man outing.
Right.
That Ash is feeling. And that's not going to help.
All right. So let's go see what the poll says.
Oh, yes. So we have a poll.
Yes. All right. So what's your take on this?
Well, I'm a little confused on the plus loans.
Okay.
Though granted, because I'm trying to remember, I thought I had plus loans, but maybe I'm wrong because I know there was the Pell Grant. There, Stafford loans, and then I thought there were plus loans.
Right.
Because I know I know that it's two separate loans.
Right.
Because you miss a payment and it's not one missed payment, it's
Two. Yeah, but apparently the parents can apply and the student can apply.
That's what's throwing me off though, is because I didn't think that was how that usually went.
Right.
Oh no, it's literally a parent plus loan.
Yeah.
That's what threw me off. Right. Direct plus loans are federal loans that parents of dependent undergraduate students can use to help pay. It's the direct plus loan is commonly referred to as the parent plus loan.
Right.
So yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah. Okay. I'm on board now. Yeah. Maybe it's a spicy take on my part, but you're the ones that applied for the money.
Right.
You agreed to take out this money.
Right.
It doesn't sound like there was a real conversation had
mm-hmm.
around any intent you had for your child to pay this money back.
Right.
I mean, if there had been a conversation and that's not included here,
right.
Then yeah, but waiting until someone graduates to be like, oh yeah, you owe another $20,000.
Right.
This kind of sounds retaliatory. Because they graduated 8 years ago. They knew about the loan for 7 years.
Mm-hmm.
Well, but they only recently came out.
Right.
Okay, so... But they knew about the loan, but when did it actually become... I mean, I still...
Right.
I think it's a shitty way to spring that, or I think it's shitty to spring that on someone.
Well, I think it's shitty to spring it on someone. I think it's shitty to go, well, you're not getting married, or we're not going to help with the wedding, so, and you have to pay us this.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I would pay back $10,000 and say the rest is yours unless you can give me an itemized bill for what you use those loans for. Because I find it coincidental that it's $20,000, and they gave each of the other two siblings $10,000 each for the wedding.
Oh, I think I'd want to see some documents. Like, yeah, that's a fair point.
Yeah, like, I'm sorry, I can't if you are going to act this way, I cannot trust you.
Yeah, because again, like, if you know this going, because it's not like, I'm sorry, but like I had a I will eternally have issues with the way my loans were done.
Right.
But I at least knew what was my responsibility.
Right. And no, these,
you know what I mean? Like, I wasn't clueless thinking that like all of this was a fucking grant.
Right.
Or where did the money come from? Like, generally there's a clear indicator.
Right.
So for it to be a surprise,
mm-hmm.
then either helicopter mom from hell and he didn't deal with a damn thing.
Right.
And so he doesn't know what the hell he is.
Right.
Which that's a problem.
Right.
Or like this just magically bubbled up.
Right.
Like,
well, and it looks to me that they're actually just in the parent's name.
Well, yeah, and then it's, if you're not sure where the money went,
right,
that would confuse the hell out of me too. So it didn't go directly,
right?
Because I think you would have noticed there were multiple loans, not just the money you took out,
right,
but also more money,
right,
going in for something, unless they got the money direct cash, which doubtful.
Right.
Because I know my college didn't quite do it that way.
Right.
Like, and I can speak from that experience. All of the money went to the school,
mm-hmm.
and anything in excess or earmarked for,
right,
got distributed by the school.
Right.
So if his parents took out $20,000 more dollars,
mm-hmm.
than the $20,000 he took out,
right,
that doesn't compute.
Right.
Well, I don't know. He,
they,
I don't know.
Anyhow, so my opinion is pay off 10,000. Let them pay the other 10,000.
I think more so ask to see the documents.
Right.
Like I want to see there was actually a loan.
Yes.
Not just mom came up with something.
Right.
Because this is fishy.
Right.
Because the things involved here are not only did they pull out a loan that you don't know about until after you graduate a year later.
Right.
And coincidentally, at the same time, they gave your siblings $10,000 apiece.
Right.
But now, but then it's also how did you not know?
Right.
Because it's not that there were, and it may have been the Parent Plus loan. There was one offered to me.
Right.
Because my funding fell short of total balance.
Mm-hmm.
There was another loan offered to me that was was based on the parent. The parent was taking out the money.
Right.
It's a total parent loan.
Right.
But again, I had to be involved in that. There was no way. It's not like Dad could have just shown up at a bank or at the college and been like, "Oh, I want to take out a Parent Plus loan."
Right.
You know what I mean? I don't think that was an option. Dad could take out a loan.
Right.
That would have been a private loan, but nothing that would have been a federal financial aid loan.
Right.
So yeah, I'd want to see some loan origination documents real quick.
Right.
I hate to say that in this about someone's parents.
Right.
But there's some shady ass parents who pull some shit.
Right.
And this doesn't compute.
Right.
But yes, I'm at the point of if it truly checks out.
Right.
This was legitimately money they pulled out and used for your education, and it's clearly documented where it went and what it went for.
Right.
You owe another $20,000, but I'd be damned if I'm having anything you go low contact, no contact.
Right.
Because that was a stunt.
Right.
That's a stunt to throw at someone a year after they graduate. I think either case, this is probably a low contact, no contact.
Right.
But yeah, anyway, their update was I'm going to try to find out exactly how the money was used. If it truly all went for my education, I'm going to pay it all back. Honestly, do not know how it was spent. I will separate the idea of wedding money and student loans. Thanks to everything you all said here, I think I'm just hurt because they believe I am immoral, sinful, and so I am holding the wedding funds against them wrongfully. Thank you for all the replies.
No.
I understand the hurt there. I think it's insult to injury at this point.
Right.
But
and the poll says everyone's shitty.
Okay.
Yeah. Very cool.
I'm kind of everyone's shitty.
Yeah. All right. Now we do want to wish out a special happy birthday. Hopefully she's out enjoying it, and we'll catch this on replay. To Miss Brenda. You've been one of our earliest baristas, and we wish you a very, very happy birthday. We will not, however, risk the copyright for happy birthday.
But you can sing it in your head.
Exactly.
I can't stop other people from singing it to you off air.
Right. So with that.
Yes. So speaking of our baristas, of course, we want to thank Beverly Walker, Mika G, Kathy, Mary Winfield, Brenda, Shannon C, Shannon D, Lady Gwendolyn, Charles Shaw, Tracy Van, Caitlin Bell, and Devin. If you'd like to learn more about us, the show, or how you too can become a Patreon sponsor and receive all the wonderful benefits our baristas receive, please visit us at pcspnetwork.com.
Yes, and with that, guys, have a wonderful evening. Good night, y'all.
Good night.